It's the dawn of September 26th, 1946. The weather was clear and cool, but things were going to heat up, in more ways than one. On this day, Union Pacific train number 223, the Transcontinental Limited, is making its way westbound from Chicago, Illinois to Los Angeles, California. This was a mid-level train, making only a few stops along the way. One of these was Yermo, California, for a crew change. The crew for this leg of the journey was 63-year-old engineer Pearl S. Parker and fireman Richard J. Zeltmeyer. In addition, 3 other Union Pacific employees stood at the platform. Foreman Edward E. Davis, age 44, and car inspectors Grover S. Pritchard and Jesse May, aged 41 and 30 respectively. The train arrived on time at 5:50 a.m. On this day, the train consisted of one of Union Pacific's relatively new at the time, Class FEF-3 484 steam locomotives, number 835. 835 was a UP baggage car, 4 chair cars, half being from the Union Pacific and the other 2 being from Chicago Northwestern, 2 UP diners, and 4 Pullman sleepers. All 11 cars, apart from 1 chair car, were pre-World War II builds from Pullman Standard, the outlier being built in 1942. After the train had come to a stop, the incoming crew indicated nothing was amiss with the train, nor the journey, so they took their leave, and 835 was topped up with water and fuel oil in the tender. Once that was done, the crew went into the cab to check for any faults. They find none. The train's conductor, 58-year-old Joseph Murray, joins the head-end crew to discuss the run into Los Angeles. Normally, crew changes between Las Vegas and Los Angeles didn't happen here at this small station, but nevertheless, the watches were compared to ensure they had the right time, and the car inspectors performed brake tests to ensure their safe operation. Once that was all done, the train got the all-clear to Highball at 6:05 a.m., running a few minutes late. The train eventually reached the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe double-track main line near Daggett. It made a station stop at Barstow, California, where the train was delayed even further to 9 minutes late. This didn't bode well, as the Transcon was scheduled to arrive in Los Angeles at 10:20 a.m., and the distance between there and the stop before, Yermo, was 165 miles, requiring an average speed of 37 miles an hour to make up the lost time. This was possible if the station stops and any necessary flag stops were done quick and efficiently, but so far, this wasn't really the case. Parker was faced with quite the dilemma. How the hell was he going to get this train back on schedule, if at all? Back in the old days, you got in more trouble for being late than breaking the rules. And Parker was an old-timer who, while not having a perfect record, had never had a serious accident. At least, not yet. The Santa Fe governed the operations of the Union Pacific trains on the Daggett to Riverside Junction track, stating that passenger trains had to run to schedule as listed on the timetable, while of course observing the speed restrictions on the curves. But of course, there were still posted speed limits on the main too, the maximum allowed being around 100 miles an hour, according to an employee timetable posted on June of 1946. No one really knew the top speed of the Union Pacific FEF class locomotives, but the maximum allowed for them was 90 miles an hour. Santa Fe's timetable also included a rule that permitted engineers to exceed scheduled speeds if necessary to make meeting points or connections, but only if the conductor had been asked and agreed to it, since he was still in charge of the train, basically the captain of the ship. This rule, however, didn't apply to maximum locomotive speeds nor speed restrictions on curves, and it also didn't really exist on the Union Pacific, even though the max speed of the Transcon between Los Angeles and Riverside on Union Pacific territory was only a mere 75 miles an hour. Parker was well aware of this loophole, as he had gotten in trouble for going 9 over the limit 2 weeks before between Walnut and Bartolo on the first sub. So, given the higher speeds on the Santa Fe, the rule about said speeds, and the lack of stops until San Bernardino, he figured the hell with it and pushed 835 to 90 miles an hour. However, there was a problem. Curves. 2 of them. The first was a 60-mile-per-hour restricted curve at Oro Grande. The other, and more dangerous, was Curve 28 near Victorville. This one was a 6-degree right-hand turn with a 3.5-inch of super elevation wedged in between the Mojave River and the outcropping of rock. It was restricted to 40 miles per hour max, especially for westbounds, as the spiral was shorter on that side. Parker would have to slow down for both curves regardless, stepping from 90 to 60 and then 40 miles an hour, only to cut back up to speed once both curves are cleared. However, this wasn't exactly how the events would transpire. Despite literally flying down the line, averaging 90 miles an hour, Parker did slow down for Oro Grande. But as for Curve